We're back here at IPC APEX 2025, and we have Megan Wendling from Megan Wendling Associates here interviewing. And I know this is a little bit different for you because you like to promote your clients and everything like that. And I know this is a little different to be on it. And, so we appreciate you taking the time out to actually talk about this because what a lot of people don't realize is the history behind this show, or actual origination, is because of your family, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to just kind of talk a little bit about that and NEPCON, and because, I told my process engineer who's been in this business for 36 years that your family's part of NEPCON and started, and like his eyes just lit up and he's like, I have to talk to her. I got to know. So I'm sure he's not the only one in the industry for a long time that wants to hear about your story and your journey. So if there's anything you can share about that.
Well, my family has been in this industry for combined probably over 100 years.
Wow.
And my dad was working for Milton Kiever with electronic packaging and production, which 50 years ago was the magazine. Put me through college, made a nice living, and then he and Milton Kiever came up with the NEPCON shows, and the NEPCON shows grew and grew and became a global organization. They ended up selling it to Connors Publishing, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, and then they took that globally, and NEPCON in the United States has pretty much dissolved, but certainly there's still NEPCON shows in Asia all over the place.
Wow.
So it's been a global brand, and I was proud to be the daughter of NEPCON.
Yeah, right.
And so,
Awesome.
and NEPCON, when Connors bought, I should probably not say this, it might sue me, but when Connors bought NEPCON, they raised the rates so much that Apex was born because people were tired of paying the big rate to the old NEPCON. So those were the days. I grew up in the industry. When I was 14 years old, I started working with my dad in the industry. I went to countless NEPCONs, and NEPCONs back then were a pretty wild place.
I heard they were huge,
it was
giant.
huge, and the parties were
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Every vendor would have a party that took up every hotel room in
goodness.
Anaheim, and these things were like 20,000 people going to these
Wow.
parties.
Amazing.
It was just an amazing place,
Yeah.
and those were the days.
Yeah.
Now we have to. We have to be careful about everything.
Yeah.
If I eat breakfast, I have to report it. But, no, anyway, but IPC has done a really great job bringing this show around. And my firm has 32 contract manufacturers that we work with, and we invited them all to the show. And believe it or not, we got 32 out of 32
Nice.
to show up to the
Nice.
show. So I'm not sure they realize it, but I'm bringing a lot of business into Apex.
Right.
So
100%.
it'll be fun. So
Now, there is one other thing, because a lot of people don't know this, but if you actually look at your resume, there's MIT involved, right?
Yes.
And how did you make the transition from MIT to what you do today?
well, I grew up in the electronics assembly industry. It was kind of one of those things that it was going to happen. So initially, when we first came out, when I first came out of school, I worked for several big publications in the electronics assembly industry. In fact, I was competing with my father in different magazines. And I actually did so well that it ended up getting him fired.
Oh, he probably loved that.
Yeah, that's
I'm so
great.
proud of
He
you.
was very proud of me. So anyway, and I worked in the magazine industry for a long time, and then I decided that, people really don't know how to talk to engineers. Plus, it's a very narrow field. Electronics assembly actually has a big umbrella, aerospace, defense,
Yeah.
medical device, automotive. We cover a lot of areas, but there was no agency that would actually just cover the semiconductor onto board assembly markets. And I think we captured that. We had enough background. I have, most of my employees had good, solid backgrounds. Jenny Pop, who's been with me for almost 30 years, was the managing editor of several of the larger magazines, SMT Magazine, Advanced Packaging Magazine, Microelectronics Manufacture and Test, so that we have a really technical background within our firm. And all of my employees have been with me for a long time. decades. So we're very well entrenched in this industry. And after 46 years, I really know almost everybody in this entire industry. And we're finding that we're attracting a lot of, I've had defense contractors come to me in the last couple of months and say, help me pick out some really good CMs to do some of my work. And I've had 2 or 3 of them come to me in the last year. So in fact, all 3 came to this event to meet some of my contract manufacturers that are in our group. So, we do PR and marketing. That's what our title is, but it's much more than that.
Right.
We are a very well-connected network that I know that I bring my CMs money. I bring them contracts. I've been able to generate business for them. And thus, we have this nice little group that I have vendors on one side and I have contract manufacturers on the other side, and we sort of feed each other if that's the correct verbiage.
Yeah, sure.
That's how relationships should work too.
So, but it's a nice family company in that where everybody in our group tries to help the other.
Not just that, you guys are a great time. Like, I keep looking at Elias because there was a lot of moments last night, especially with Jenny, where like him and Jenny had like a little inside thing kind of going on. Like, cause he was first say like, oh, the quiet one. And like, she's like, she had the best line of the day and stuff like that. So
yeah, you got a great team. And I was looking forward to this interview because it's a bit of a change of pace. We talked to a lot of folks that, their company's providing technical services, right? Whatever it is, it's a component within this process that is very, numbers oriented or precision oriented or whatever the case is. But
data driven.
Yeah, right. But where are we right now? We're at arguably the biggest marketing event in the United States, right? And that's what you bring to the table. And we need to have brilliant products and quality products and good processes. But none of it means anything unless somebody's willing to buy it. So I think that's where marketing is an important and maybe often overlooked or looked at the wrong way, right?
And the biggest networking event.
Absolutely.
Which is what, right?
We're the queen of networks.
Right.
We're really good at it. Tomorrow night I'm having an event. There's over 250 people coming.
Wow.
I have people coming from Honeywell, Boeing, a couple of defense contractors. I have 146 EMS EMS individuals coming. And then we have all the vendors on the floor. I have vendors coming that aren't our clients, and that we have like four in one field. I think we have 4 presidents of AOI's companies coming. And it's funny because they all sit at the same table.
Sure.
And I thought it might be disastrous, but they all had a great time. So it's really an industry event, and there isn't anything like it. And we're happy to be able to host this every year.
Well, we should be sure that we have plenty of business cards in our pockets for that, right?
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying we get to go. It's an exclusive thing that I've heard about from lots of people. So I know I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good time. Meet a lot of people that we might have interacted with online before, but not actually shook hands and met in person. And that putting faces to the names that you've known and meeting people at events like this. I know it's one of the most exciting things about being here is just you've got to be here to experience that. You can't just watch it virtually and experience the same things. So yeah, we also do want you to watch it virtually, like podcast recordings and things like that. Yeah,
the Decode podcast.
That was producer Paul being super helpful.
Well, awesome. This has been a great time, and you told us before the cameras started rolling that you haven't done one of these before, so we feel honored to.
Feels natural though. I mean, you got a natural.
Well, we run by reputation, and we kind of are very exclusive about our clientele, and the people we have in our group are the best, and you're going to get to meet them all, and I hope you get a flavor of what we can do, and we make the industry move and shake.
You know it.
Anyway.
Well, thank you, Megan.
Megan, thank
you.
you.
Again for
Have
having
a great
me.
show.
And I really love your podcast. You guys are the hottest ticket in town right now.
Thank you so much.
You heard it here. Thanks, Megan. Cheers.
Anyway, I'm honored. Thank you.